join my colleague from Nebraska and others in discussing the importance of continuing to develop our energy resources here in North Dakota. We have the most abundant energy resources in the world, and we need to use all of them to develop and continue to build an all-of-the-above energy policy. Much of the nation continues to experience very cold temperatures, in some cases really record cold temperatures. In my state of North Dakota, coal typically provides 35 to 40% of the 24/7 base load power generation to not only our state but to other states in the region. We supply both MISO and the SPP power pools with energy for our region that they can count on 24/7. Base load energy that in the coldest times or the hottest times, in peak energy times, they know that those base load power plants are going to be there to keep the lights on and keep the heat going and whatever other power needs are called for. That's 24/7 base load power provided all the time. Also, not only is it 24/7 energy when needed at peak times, but according to the Energy Information Office, their October 23 report, North Dakota's paid the lowest electricity prices in the country. The lowest in the country. Let's compare that, for example, to, let's say, California. California paid 4 times as much for electricity during the same time period. So my colleague from Nebraska just talked about electric vehicles. Well, you need charging stations for those electric vehicles. Where's that electricity going to come from? And particularly, where is it going to come from at times when you have peak power needs? You still need that electricity for all these different purposes. So we have to recognize that even as we develop new technologies and do all these things that people want, we've got to have that base load power coming from somewhere. We simply can't take our baseload energy, our coal-fired electric, and our other sources have to be there. Now again, we continue to develop new technologies and continue to press for the best possible environmental stewardship, but we've got to recognize that we need more energy, and we've got to continue to use all of our resources to generate that energy. Access to affordable and reliable energy is not only a quality of life issue, but obviously a public safety issue, and we've seen that with these record cold temperatures. That includes keeping our homes warm, our businesses running. It includes keeping the lights on for our critical infrastructure like hospitals, schools, police, fire departments, and many, many other public services that we depend on every single day. But the reality is our electric grid only works when there's sufficient power generation available to meet demand in real time. You can't not have that energy when you need it and expect the grid to keep working and, of course, those vital needs to be met. In its 2023 Long-Range Reliability Assessment, the North American Energy Reliability Corporation, NERC, as it's commonly referred to, is warning that our grid, our power grid, continues to face higher risk of blackouts and brownouts because of planned power plant retirement alongside rising electricity demand. So again, think about whether it's electric vehicles, whether it's your computers, data processing, whatever it may be, we can continue to develop all these new things, these new technologies, and all these things we want to do, but you've got to have the power to run them. When you go into the house and flip on that switch, where's that electricity coming from? People take it for granted.
They want this changed immediately. Democratic lawmakers are pressuring the Internal Revenue Service to make major changes. These adjustments would affect hundreds of thousands of Americans in select states. Some U.S. households may owe the government more money this year if this is not approved. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you need to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. So friends, according to Newsweek, Minnesota Democratic Governor Tim Walz is putting pressure on the Internal Revenue Service to forgo federal taxes on state rebates in the few weeks before tax season, and an expert told Newsweek what that could mean for other states. The state has been pushing the Internal Revenue Service to remove the federal tax penalties on the rebates for months. But Minnesota only has a few weeks remaining before the 2023 tax season begins on January 29th. Governor Tim Walz and GOP Representative Pete Stober both had conversations with IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel about taking away the federal tax rules for the one-time rebate, but it's still unknown whether any decision will go through. The IRS initially announced it would be taxing the rebate in the fall, meaning Minnesota taxpayers would need to give back anywhere from $26 to $286, depending on how much they earned in the payout. Payments ranged from $260 to $1,300 based on your income and tax information. The IRS said while other states' rebate programs may be labeled crisis-era relief and therefore not subject to federal taxes, Minnesota's rebate came too late to bypass the typical rules by just 12 days. Governor Walz said the decision was disappointing when it was announced. Minnesota Tax Committee chairs Aisha Gomez and Ann Ress wrote in a letter to the Internal Revenue Service. Since 2022, the Minnesota legislature and Walz administration have discussed relief payments to residents of Minnesota for the impact of inflation and lingering effects of the crisis. We believe taxing these relief payments could put Minnesotans at an unfair disadvantage compared to similar situated residents of other states that have been covered by the guidance, who have been able to exclude state payments made in 2023. In 2022, 21 other states passed similar rebates that were ruled exempt from federal taxes, and some states have also been granted an exception, even if their rebates came a bit after the deadline. According to Newsweek, Governor Walz previously said that after a year of campaigning to pass the rebates, the IRS did not think there was a link in the checks to crisis relief. Marcus Cross, a financial expert, has stated if Minnesota and the IRS are able to come to a resolution, though, it could set a lasting standard for other states when they fight these battles. The IRS might be hesitant to include Minnesota in its exempted rebate list due to the long-term revenue fallbacks, but for Minnesota taxpayers, the federal tax could mean hundreds of dollars in difference, because the IRS will be counting the rebates as taxable income. All rebate recipients will get a 1099 tax form. Newsweek has confirmed that they also have to claim the full rebate as income when filing their federal 2023 tax returns. In 2022, when Minnesota passed a frontline worker rebate, the IRS said it did not pass a test and would be still considered taxable income. A Nebraska Democrat is also trying to tackle the state's pricey property tax bills with legislation that would throw local counties into the real estate business and likely limit excessive valuations. The proposal was made by Senator Elliot Boster of Lincoln, Nebraska. Under the proposed bill, a local county's assessed property valuation could be considered the same as an offer to purchase the same property for the amount they valued it at if the homeowner decides to sell it. Residents of Nebraska carry one of the top 10 heaviest property tax burdens in the United States when compared to the median income in the state. On average, Nebraska's property tax rate is 1.61%, but in some of the state's largest counties, it is up to 2%. So the bill includes exceptions for the valuations of commercial or industrial property assessed at more than $1 million and for residential property that has received an allocation of federal low-income housing tax credits. Well, my awesome and amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Dear friends, In a video later today, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these weekly giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed Friday.